Hi, I'm Randy Robison. This is Life Today TV. I'm thrilled to get to talk to someone that I met a while back and really enjoyed talking to on Life Today. And that's Kasey Van Norman. If you haven't caught up with her, check out her book, Raw Faith. It's available right now, so run and get it fast. But it's a great night to have you back.
It's great to be back.
Because, last time, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, especially with you, because...
Right, I was guest hosting on the broadcast show last time.
And I brought more hair this time. Because last time I did.
Yeah, you had just...
I just started chemo.
Yeah. How are you doing?
I feel amazing.
You look
doing great.
Yeah,
I mean, I really feel great. God has just renewed my spirit and my strength. And, my cancer is incurable, so I'm going to struggle every day with fear and doubt and worry. And but He's just brought me to such an incredible place of knowing Him in that valley.
Hang on.
And that's what that's about.
The incurable part, does that mean that you can get it to be
incurable,
not so harmful?
I have chosen to take myself off of treatments. So it's non-Hodgkin's lymphoma is the type of cancer that I have. And it's a blood cancer, and it stays with you. And people can live for many, many years with it. And
full life years?
Full lifespan, yeah. But then the type that I have can be very aggressive. And so chemo and treatment has kind of kept it at bay. And right now it's stable, it's not growing.
Okay.
And when they gave me that news, I just said, you know what, I just want to live, because for me, the chemo was really doing damage, and it was making me more sick than the cancer was for me. And so right now it's stable, it's not growing, it's not spreading, and I'm just praising God and living life.
And I understand that there's a difference because of the disease, but there's also a similarity here that you're living day by day, and so are the rest of us. We just may not realize it. Right?
I mean, I really consider myself privileged to have experienced cancer and to be living in that, because I mean, even Paul talks about a thorn that he begged God to take it away, and God said, no, I'm not taking it away. And that's how I feel about living with cancer that's incurable, that there's treatment for, but not a cure for yet. I feel that way. I feel like, our day that we were born, or the day that we will die, is written in the hand of God. And so there's nothing that can change that. There's no diagnosis. There's no, doctor's orders.
He has given a few people more years when they ask for them.
Yeah. I mean, I've just come to a place with God where I just feel like He has really created every moment. He has predestined it. He has purposed it for me. Sure. And I just have just come to this place where I rest in that.
Good.
I rest in that. And it's not to say that I don't pray for healing. It's just that my perception of healing and my perspective of that prayer has now changed through cancer. And so for me now, healing is to be with Jesus. And so when I pray for healing, if I'm really praying for healing, true healing for me, and that's
But you don't pray for death.
I mean, there's...
Please don't, because we want you around a little longer.
It sounds so morbid, and I mean, of course I don't pray for death, but I do pray for God to be greater, and if death is what it takes, then so be it. And I really believe that, and that's, like I say, that's a wrestle, that's a fight. When I say God picked
I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
God picked a fight with you. Is that your fight?
That's my fight. Yeah. I mean, He picked a fight, and He picks a fight intentionally with all of us. And it's really this breathtaking way of seeing God, because we so often only want to acknowledge God in the blessing and in the mountaintop when everything's going good and everything's fine and we're not going through an illness or a trial or pain or suffering. That's when we want to go, oh, thanks God. I'm so glad you were here. You got me through this. But what about the times when we're in the valley, when we're in the pit?
Right. We blame the devil on that.
Yeah. But who does the devil answer to?
Yeah,
so it's like, this is where God's taken me. And like I say, it would make everybody a lot more comfortable if I could unsee the things that I've seen, but I can't go back. And it's hard. And I wrestle with it every day. But it's the place of just knowing God on such a deep level where He really is the creator of my life. He is sovereign over my life, and He's orchestrated every detail.
Yeah.
And for me to disbelieve that, for me, this is where He's taken me. For me to disbelieve that He is in control of everything is really just to disbelieve who He is, the character of who He is.
Yeah.
That He's a full, loving, compassionate, just, holy God.
Do you think that because you've been forced to deal with this and are forced to deal with it every day, that enables you to make other people deal with their own lives in a way that shakes them in a positive way?
I hope so.
Is that what you try to do when you go speak to people?
Yeah, I always say I'm a teacher of conviction. I believe that my calling is to teach in the power of conviction. I think that we are doing ourselves a disservice if we settle for mediocre things. I think we're doing ourselves a disservice if we want to look at all the stuff that's happened to us that we would consider junk, that we would consider hard and pain and not of God, and we want to discount that He had a place in that. I think when I speak, and now it enables me to meet with people on a very authentic level, have a soul bond with them, to where, not only have I been through cancer, I've been through an abusive home life, a dysfunctional home life as a child. Right. I've been through rape. I've rebelled in just about every way that you can think of, been very sexually promiscuous. I've been through an extramarital affair. And to receive healing and restoration and redemption. And here's, Randy, that He's using me. That's the beauty. He is using me. I am broken. I am a wreck. I have so much junk. That God would use that stuff. And that's the stuff He's using. Yeah. See, He uses the broken pieces. That's the stuff He chooses to use. And so we can't discount those things. And we can't settle. We can't settle for mediocre things because He wants to use that.
You don't live under the shame of those things. You recognize they're wrong, but do you now?
No. Heavens, no. I cannot stand up on a stage in a platform in front of a broken mess and then talk to a bunch of broken people and live in shame. I have been set free by the grace and love of Jesus Christ alone. I have been set free from the chains of shame. And what I've learned is that condemnation is from Satan.
It is.
Conviction is from the Lord. And that's two very different ways of living. And that has set me free. Is that the shame was coming from condemnation, was that plague of doubt that I wasn't good enough, that did God really say the same question that He posed to Eve in the garden? Did God really say? Just for the record, every dysfunctional thing that we have in our life comes from the wrong answer to this question. Did God really say? When we start to answer that question with, well, did He? Did He really say? Yeah, He did say. He's God, And so to come to that place where it's not condemnation on me anymore. Now, conviction is good, it's healthy, and it brings us closer to God because we need to be changing people, evolving people, deepening people. We don't sin because we are passionate people. We sin because our passions are too weak. We get in these moments of shame and regret and guilt, and we cave into the bondage of insecurity and the opinions and attitudes of what other people think of us and depression and all of this. And I've battled all of these things. Yeah. Honestly, I will be very honest and vulnerable about all of that. But the truth is that we think all of that is because we don't have passion. The truth is our passions are too weak. He wants us to be passionate about the things that He is about.
Or we fulfill those passions in the wrong way.
Yes. Yeah.
Oftentimes.
Yeah. We make idols of things. We place them in, we go off of what we desire, what we want.
Right.
We want it now. Right. We want it on our terms.
Right.
And that's a big part of the book. That's one of the themes in the book is looking at life on God's terms and what are you doing in your life that...
So do you have all the answers now?
Well, I've got hair. What do you want? Of course not.
But, so what are some of the things that you're still kind of working through, you think?
That's what I want, people that I get to love on and speak to and do life with every day. I'm just a girl that struggles every day. I struggle with doubt and worry and fear, and I struggle with those things. But God can set you free. He can set you free from the bondage of those things.
Right.
And so the beauty part for me has come in, I don't have the answers. And I really don't want to, because there's not a lot of fun in serving a God that you know all the answers to. There's a mystery
Well,
and
you don't
there's
have
an
to worry
adventure.
about that.
I know, right?
We're
It's not
all
even close.
limited. Yeah, I mean, you
Not
can
even
get all the
close.
answers you want, and I'd say get all the wisdom and
Yeah.
understanding you can get, because you'll still eventually come up
Yeah.
short. We can't get there.
No, we can't. We're human and mortal,
Right.
and He is the potter, and we are clay.
Right.
But that is, I think, people can live such defeated lives because they're always beating their head against the wall trying to find all the answers, and to be free of that and to just rest in the desires and the center of Jesus, and where He is driving, and He's not at the first, He's not at the end, He is the center of everything. He drives my motives, and He sets His desires upon my heart. And that's a big shift that takes place. And
But
so
that is the answer.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, maybe I am smarter than I thought.
You're there. We arrived. That's true. No, that's true, though. I mean, that is the answer. We don't always accept
Right.
the answer, and that's where faith comes in, to go, okay, God, I'm gonna believe what you say.
Yeah.
Not
and
because I get it
Exactly.
necessarily, but because you said it.
because it's who He is.
Right.
And everything that He does in our life is to point us to who He is and not what we see or don't see around us.
Right.
He's moving us away from the external, and He's moving us into internal deep places. He's taking us out of what's happening to me, what's not, the circumstances, and He's moving us onto, this is who I am. I am unchanging. I am faithful. I am loving. I am gracious. And I never leave you nor forsake you. And in your weakness, I am made strong. So it really is a climb. It is the climbing. It's not an arrival. It's not a mountaintop moment. It is finding God in the climb, finding Him in the valley. Sure. And that's just a beautiful place to sit.
No doubt. Okay. Well, I could go on forever. But you should continue, because Raw Faith is worth looking at. Get that online, bookstores, Christian bookstores, online, whatever, and visit her site. What's your website?
It's really hard. It's myname.com.
Okay.
So, yeah.
We'll put it on the screen
I know, right?
in case they don't know how to spell
So, KaseyVanNorman.com. I would love for people to check it out.
And I
see
will
what's
say
going
this
on.
because I recommended you at our church, and you came and spoke to
You're
our
so
ladies
good to me.
groups, and they said wonderful things, as I knew they would, about having you,
Thank you.
there. So if you got speaking slots, you're touring still. Are you touring?
Yeah, I'm touring with a group called Extraordinary Women.
Yeah.
And you can check that out at ewomen.net.
And Margaret Feinberg's in that
Margaret
group.
Feinberg and Karen Kingsbury and Miss
Karen.
Kay from Duck Dynasty, and we're just a big unruly group of misfits.
And so your calendar's
travel around.
posted online, so they
Calendar
can
is
see where you're
there,
at?
yeah.
So you have all sorts of opportunities. So.
Yeah, I'd love for them to check it out. Be honored.
And if all that fails, you go to lifetoday.org, and you can see her when she's with my parents on the broadcast show.
Yeah.
And check it out. Kasey, I'm just thrilled to see you again, see you doing well, looking good physically, and I met your husband, so thanks
He's a
for
good
bringing him
guy.
along.
Yeah.
He's got to be.
He's a good guy.
He's got to be.
He's more than just my driver.
Well, great. Thank you again for being with us.
Yeah, thanks, Randy.
Wrap that up.
Wrap it
Just keep talking.
with a bow.